So, with Ruben Amorim deciding to do a career suicide, how are Manchester United fans looking at this appointment? Amorim is known for a formation of 3-4-3. So, would he bring that to Manchester United? If yes, what does that mean for players like Rashford and Garnacho? So, with winter transfer window approaching us, what kind of war chest would INEOS give to Ruben Amorim? With Manchester United also deciding to part ways with Ruud van Nistelrooy, how does Manchester United fans look at this sacking or parting ways? And we will talk about this and much more in today's video. Hello, friends. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Maninder. I'm an ardent Liverpool fan. I've been following Liverpool from close to 20 years now. And with me is Vineet, who is a Manchester United fan. And today we would be focusing our attention on Manchester United and their new manager. So, Vineet, with Ruben Amorim deciding to end his career and by joining Manchester United, how are Manchester United fans taking this appointment? I know he recently defeated Pep Guardiola with a brilliant match, with a brilliant scoreline, and that might have just added to the excitement of that appointment. But what is the general feeling around the camp in Manchester United?
So before I go to Amorim on that particular match itself, I saw that particular match. And to be honest, like Amorim analyzed, they were a little bit lucky. Manchester City did not play well. And with a high line, Sporting just hit them on the break, and it was just a lucky day. I don't think this will happen 8 out of 10 times, maybe 50-50. But yes, it was an exciting win, and what a way to sign off in the Champions League for Sporting and Amorim at Sporting.
And why am I getting a sneaky feeling that Pep just allowed that match to play out in that fashion with that scoreline so that it can get you fans excited? But as soon as the reverse fixture would happen with Manchester United and Manchester City, I'm pretty sure Pep will make sure the scoreline is reversed in the next match.
Well, that's for us to see. Let's see what really happens. But Pep Guardiola has enough troubles of his own. He should not think about Manchester United right now. So he needs to get
Yeah,
his house in order.
fair enough. So let's come back to the appointment. So with Amorim coming to Manchester United, first up, what is your reaction and what are your feelings?
So Amorim, interesting appointment for sure. I was in two minds that he may go to City once Pep Guardiola wants to step down, but Manchester United stepped in, and I think it is an exciting signing. The best part, and what I really like about Amorim right now is he's very comfortable in his own skin. He seems very relaxed. I've seen some of the intro videos and his first interview. He looked really comfortable and confident. And I remember one of his statements. The interviewer asked him, with Manchester United comes weight of expectations. And he said, I don't feel any pressure. I'm just excited. He seems charismatic when he was moving around. He made a couple of jokes. So it seems like he's at ease. So that is confidence. And I really like that. At least the first impressions are really good.
I would give him just a month to be a part of that circus, and then we will talk back again whether he's still comfortable in his skin or the true colors are starting to come out. But regardless, Ruud van Nistelrooy, he was doing a good job, and he was part of the backroom staff as well with the previous manager. He was given an interim job.
Yeah.
So with Amorim coming in, there were hopes that he might stay because he had that rapport with existing players. He was quite good with them. He was mingling with them. But Manchester United have decided to part ways with him. I do not know whether that was a sacking or that was a mutual consent, but whatever that was, he's no longer part of the furniture. What are your reactions to that? Do you think he should have stayed, or do you think Amorim would be happier with his own staff and nothing to carry from the previous regime?
So this is an interesting one, to be honest. I love Ruud van Nistelrooy. In my 25 years or more of supporting Manchester United, he's one of the top three players which I really, really like of Manchester United.
I would say he's a club legend indeed, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. No striker like him, to be honest. So the problem, I think Ruud van Nistelrooy made few mistakes, if I can say that. He constantly kept on saying, "I have a 2-year contract or 3-year contract, whatever it was. I'm here to help, etc." I think he was trying to be a little bit too assertive. I wasn't really expecting him to carry on because looking at what Amorim was talking on, how he was talking with the confidence he had, I don't think he would have looked to retain any of the staff members. Three, four other staff members of Ten Hag who have left now, along with Ruud van Nistelrooy. So it didn't come to me as a surprise, but I think Amorim, made a right choice because he didn't want to look over his shoulder always. As soon as Ruud van Nistelrooy came in, everybody knew at some point of the time, as and when Ten Hag gets sacked, Ruud van Nistelrooy will become the interim. So it's okay. It's a clean slate, and good luck to Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's already linked with the Coventry City and Burnley job, so I hope he stays in England. We'll see him back on the pitch as a manager soon.
Yep. And we have seen managers going from Burnley to Bayern, so you just never know.
That was a
And
good one. That was a good one.
so I think this is always a 50-50 situation because
Yeah,
9 out of 10 times, whenever the new manager comes in, he would rather have his own staff and nothing from the previous regime. But then there are times when you would need someone who can just bridge that gap and get you past that initial hurdles, make sure that you connect with the players, and then you can decide to let that person go. And considering the legend status that Ruben Nistelrooy had,
yeah.
I was in a dilemma. I thought that maybe Manchester United might keep him, but yeah. Anyways, as I said, 9 out of 10 times the manager would bring his own staff.
And you know what? There is a constant in the staff in Manchester United, which is Darren Fletcher. I don't know. I don't know what he does. I have no idea, but he's there. So maybe he can connect the dots for Amorim. And then with players like Evans and Heaton, well, the senior players, they may also help settle him in. But one thing, now INEOS have no excuses. They have their own man. They have their own structure. They have to now start producing results. So let's see what happens.
Darren Fletcher does one thing very brilliantly, and that is bringing fines to Manchester United. Yeah, I think that probably is the reason why they've still kept him.
The referee
But moving
deserved
ahead,
it.
so yeah. But moving ahead, so Amorim is known for a 3-4-3 formation. I would classify that as a rigid mindset that he has. That was probably one of the reasons why Liverpool actually moved away from him, because
Mm.
it would have been a huge struggle for us to move from Klopp to a 3-4-3. But with Manchester United, what are your first initial thoughts? Would he stick with that formation, or would he try to work out a formation which is good with the current players?
I know earlier in the video you said give it 1 month. I have a sneaky feeling it will not be a good start if he goes to 3-4-3. I remember when Ten Hag came in. I don't know if you remember or not. With De Gea in goal, he was trying to pass it out from the back, and De Gea is not good with his feet. It took, I think, 1.5 games for Ten Hag to realize that he has to change his tactics. So I have a similar fear there. The only saving grace is this international break, but then again, he still doesn't have his visa, right? So he's going to start only on Monday. So he will have 1 week to work with players for 3-4-3. So it would be an interesting one. But I'm also
And
curious.
just to add to that, I don't think international players would anyways be available for him in this week. They would be coming back pretty late after the friendlies.
So one quick question on this particular point. Slot came in and continued Klopp's way. Amorim more likely will change right at the onset. What do you think? What's the best approach? It has worked for Slot right now, but still it is a tricky one. What are your thoughts on it?
It worked for Slot because we had a very good, healthy squad and we
Yeah.
had very good setup existing already. With Manchester United, whoever was coming in, whether it was Amorim or anybody else, I would not have been surprised if that manager comes in and starts from scratch. It's not as if you are flying right now.
Yes.
You are more closer to bottom than to top. So, regardless of what the current table looks like, even on the pitch, there is no identity at all. So, it's not as if he is starting from a very solid base. There is no base at all. So, for him, if even if he starts with 3-4-3 from day one, and even if the results do not go in the right direction, they are hardly going in the right direction anyway. So I would not be surprised if he starts straight away with what he is comfortable in, that is 3-4-3. The only problem that I see there is that since it is a mid-season signing, so no preseason, so you
Yeah.
do not have enough time for your players to get into that rhythm. So it would be a good struggle, and that's why I said after a month we can come back and talk again whether he's still comfortable in the skin or the pressure is starting to grow and we are starting to see some gray hair.
Yeah.
But if I was Amorim and considering where Manchester United is right now, I would just throw everything out of the table in terms of tactics and start afresh.
I completely am with you. I would want Amorim to do the same. Bring your ideas in. But I just want to call that out. Ruud van Nistelrooy did a pretty decent job. We are now only 4 points away from the fourth spot. So you never know in which direction the league will go and the table will go.
Interesting thing that I would also want to know from you is that now considering that Amorim would be playing 3-4-3, I think we both are agreeing that he would start that way.
Yeah.
What does that mean for some of the existing players? For example, if he's going for 3-4-3, I'm assuming it would be double pivot. So Ugarte and Casemiro probably would start. What does that mean for Mino? And then if it is 3-4-3, what does that mean for Rashford and Garnacho on the wings? Do you feel Manchester United has players who can play in this system, or would that be a steep learning curve for all of them?
I think they have to adapt. There's no other way. We're covered in the centre back, three centre backs. Euro on the right, he's back from injury. Delict at the centre, and Martinez is built for the left. So that's pretty much a done deal there. The midfield, Ugarte, Menu, and Casemiro, I think out of the three, two will almost always play. So I think we are sorted there. I'm pretty okay with Menu not playing all the matches. So if he rotates with Casemiro and Ugarte, I'm pretty much okay with that. I think that's the best way of going about it. Forward, well, Hoyland, that's the one. Bruno Fernandes will take up one of the position. Mason Mount may get a little bit of a life, but
Oh,
yeah,
I completely forgot about him.
yeah, I know, right? Diallo is playing well, so I think Fernandes and Diallo may start behind Hoyland if in 3-4-3. The interesting one is wing backs. On the right, I think Diallo will start, and on the left is the most interesting one. Luke Shaw was the default preference, but he's just always out injured. That's a problem for us. So maybe Rashford or Garnacho on the left wing back. Oof, that's recipe for disaster, to be honest. Especially if it is Rashford, he would never run back and support Martinez, and Martinez is going to kind of maybe he will kung fu kick him because Martinez likes to go double footed always and every time. So let's see. Maybe Garnacho, but let's see what really happens. But I also want to float in a conspiracy theory. Looking at the signings which Manchester United made, Euro came in, right? And Ugarte came in. Ugarte was not played by Ten Hag. Ugarte is ex Amorim player. So I think maybe INEOS in the back of their mind had Amorim always, and they may have wanted Ten Hag to continue maybe till Christmas or till the end of next year. But they got an opportunity. Maybe they were building or thinking on building the squad for Amorim. I know it's a two-edged sword and 15 or 20 million compensation to Ten Hag and his staff, including Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't understand why Ugarte was not played by Ten Hag. As soon as the double pivot of Casemiro and Ugarte came in, Manchester United's defense settled down and we have started winning. Any thoughts on why Ugarte was not played by Ten Hag? I am pretty sure it wasn't because of, oh, he's new to England, let him integrate to the environment, etc. I don't think that was the case.
I think you are giving too much credit to your upper management. I don't think they had this much thought process while they were bringing in Ugarte. I don't think there was any succession plan at all. That's how it looks like from outside. In terms of what went wrong with Ugarte, sometimes we have seen even in Liverpool that when a player is brought by the so-called transfer committee in the past, and if the manager was not giving the final nod for that signing, we had seen where the player was brought in into the club but was hardly played and then moved on because manager never stamped on that signing. It might be the case with Manchester United as well. Ten Hag might not be fancying Ugarte, and he was brought anyways above his head, and that's why he might not be playing. Or he was injured, he was not match fit, that might be the case. But regardless, that is past. So moving ahead, winter transfer window is approaching us.
Yeah.
So INEOS has done a mid-season appointment.
Mm.
He would The good bit is that he at least has few months to just look at all the players, try to implement his tactics and see which player suits his system and not. But January is not that far away. So what do you feel INEOS would give him as a war chest in the winter transfer window, or would they just completely bypass that window, let him work with all the players, and then bring the money in the summer transfer window?
Yeah, so with FFP or whatever that new name is, it's pretty difficult. Anything will happen in January. I don't see anything happening really. May not even be able to sell anyone, right? If somebody wants to come and buy Anthony off our books, Liverpool, we want to buy Anthony. So if anybody wants to buy Anthony, great. But to be honest, I don't see much happening there. Left back is one area where I want strengthening, but Malasia and Shaw seems to be on their way to recovery. I don't think there will be too much of an investment going in. I think we are pretty much covered in all spaces. We have pretty much backup. I know the striker situation is not that great with the two young strikers, but we are not going to go for Jokeresh for 60, 80, $100 million in January for sure. Sporting is not going to let him go, but we don't have the money also. So let's hope the city's charges are proved. We get some compensation out of them along with other clubs, and maybe we have money to spend, but that's not going to happen in January.
You're living in an optimistic world if you feel City would get anything in that legal tussle. If City even gets a point deduction, if City even gets a single point deduction, I would lose trust on money. So that's how confident I am that this is not going anywhere. And about Luke Shaw, you said that he's on a recovery path. Has Luke Shaw's recovery ever lasted more than 90 minutes? I've always seen him sick and out. So you are being very hopeful there as well.
Yeah, he wants to play for England. He played in Euro, one and a half, 2 games. My God. But then again, he's a good player, to be honest. He is our left center back cover. He is good on the wing. Hopefully, we are coming and gunning for the fourth position for sure. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm glad I was not sipping a coffee or I would have spilled that over. You are nowhere near fourth and you would not get there this season at least. And that's a wrap for today. We will see how the Manchester United circus goes on with Amorim as the new ringmaster. They are Ipswich away. I would not be surprised if they lose points there as well. But it's a new manager, it's a new era. We will see how the players react to it. And we need best of luck for the weekend and best of luck with your new manager as well. And as I said, we will come back after a month to see how comfortable he is in the skin after running some circles in that circus.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best, keeping my fingers crossed. I think Amorim is the guy.
Yeah. You might have to cross your toes as well just to make that happen.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, friends. I hope you enjoyed our discussion out here on Manchester United with Liverpool inputs. Please like, subscribe, put a comment, and we will be back with the next episode pretty soon. Bye bye.